Anyway, yeah, no,
You think the board, Mourinho to blame?
all three, board, players, manager. It's yeah, all shit.
Can you see it changing under him?
Well, the problem is you've got a board who fundamentally control everything. So they're not gonna change. That's the problem. But you look at it and you think, what's the board done since David Gill went? They've appointed David Moyes. No offence to David Moyes, but you know everyone knows David Moyes' limitations. He should never got the job. Louis van Gaal, who myself as an ignorant follower of European football, I thought he's won a Champions League.
Came with a bit of pedigree, didn't he?
He's come with honours, but you look at his style of play and the way his management. He's not suited to Man United. All that, regardless of that, he's a terrible manager. His style of play is absolutely terrible. So that was a terrible decision. You get Mourinho, who you'd hope had recovered from his nervous breakdown at Chelsea. If they'd done their due diligence and actually looked into it, he clearly hasn't. So he's just having another one now, publicly at Man United. So they should have realised. I mean, Mourinho is not a fit for this whole thing. Again, I think there are a lot of myths about what is this Man United history. You know, I mean, we are a sacking club. We did it before. We just got lucky with Alex Ferguson. The youth thing, we got lucky with the class of '92 and a few of the young players in the 50s and 60s, but 70s and 80s they weren't particularly good young players. There's a lot of myths about Man United, but the point is Mourinho is completely the antithesis of anything you'd want at Man United. And then so they've appointed him, so that's three managers, and you've got to blame the board for that, do you know what I mean? And now you look at Mourinho and everything he's doing, why is anyone surprised by it, do you know what I mean? But then again today, I mean, Mourinho, get rid of him ASAP. That's the only silver lining.
Is that how serious?
The only silver lining of today's result is it brings his departure closer, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And speaking of mates who are United fans now, they're saying the same thing. I appreciate some people think stick with him, but you only know which way it's going. He could turn it around and he could win titles with United. He probably will if you give him enough time, but it will be...
Do you think he'll get that time?
I hope not, and the only way he will do is if they can't find someone better to replace him, this is the golden question. Who do you replace him with?
But do you think that's a bit of a defeatist mentality where it's like you're sticking with what you've got because you don't know how else to fix it, so you just stay? Like a missus who's not going well in your relationship, but you stay with her anyway because you think you can't find another missus.
Oh, did I talk about what missus? Did I tell you about it?
not specifically your missus.
No, he's pregnant, B, if you watch this. I love you. I can't wait on my baby. My baby will be here, hopefully. When my baby comes in December, hopefully Mourinho won't be here. So, I know, but I mean, yeah, this is the thing. Who do you replace him with, though? This is the thing. I think United now, you're looking at it, you think, well, who do you get in? I mean,
who would you go for?
Would you get in?
You don't want him here, so who would you go for?
I don't know. Again, I mean, my ignorance of sort of European football, top manager, I would say Allegri. Allegri seems the obvious one to me. What he's done at Juventus, the way Juventus play, you know, they've been absolutely brilliant. They've got, what, 2 out of the last 4 Champions League finals or something like that. They play good football, you know, and he seems like a decent bloke, you know, and that is a big thing. I think he'll get, you know, the players on board, you know what I mean? Today's performance, the players had given up. They had given up, fucking hell. We were 3-1 down at half time. There's enough good players on that pitch, no disrespect to Brighton, they're brilliant at home. They can.
The fight weren't there, was it? There was no fight.
Mate, they looked like, you were watching it, that entire second half, they looked like they were 10-1 down with 2 minutes to play. There was no belief. There was no, you know, they weren't contesting things. I heard someone earlier saying there's not contesting for any second balls. They weren't even going for it. Do you know what I mean? That's 45 minutes against Brighton. You know what I mean? City have just spanked Huddersfield 6-1. I don't think Huddersfield are that much worse than Brighton. I'm from Brighton. It's, you know what I mean? It's, you know, but if they can't if they can't back themselves to come out and fight Brighton, what the fuck are they going to do? They got Tottenham next week. What are they going to do?
That's what I'm going to go on to sum it up. We've got Tottenham next week. Last season at home, we've done all right against some of the big teams, beat them apart from City.
Well, this is when you have to ask yourself.
Do you think we can raise it?
Then you have to ask yourself, is it the players? Because they should have raised it today. There was things chasing lost balls, making runs down the channels. They're not things that. This is the same thing with Van Gaal. These aren't things that are that much, you know, they're not tactical things. They are basic things. When Pogba's got the ball in the middle of the park, or Fred's got the ball in the middle of the park, that's another story. Players should be making these runs. Do you know what I mean? They're basic things. You know what I mean? Just the appetite looks like.
Comes from the training field, right?
Part of it comes from a training field, part of it comes from a natural appetite, do you know what I mean? And something has gone wrong, whether it's all the shit that's going on in the background with Pogba, Mourinho generally, this sort of whole bad demeanour, this whole negative pre-season thing. The players just look like they just don't, they're lost, do you know what I mean? They haven't got that appetite, they haven't got that desire, they haven't got that belief. And
What about people who say that's just a blip?
well, it's a fucking long blip. It's, do you know what I mean? That blip's been going on since, yeah, 2 years. 2 years. The desire, there's no desire there at all, yeah. I wouldn't say, yeah. I wouldn't call it a blip. I would say that is how it is and that's how it will carry on.
Listen, man, it's been a pleasure.
All right, nice
Thank
one.
you very much.
All
Hope you
right.
get home to safety to missus and good luck with the
Yeah,
game.
thank you very
Baby
much, mate.
coming.
Yeah.
Nice one.